Spin maestros Kuldeep-Ashwin and Ashwin showcased their prowess, collectively grabbing 9 wickets to propel India into a dominant position against England on day one of the series' climatic fifth test. England's Crawley initially studied the ship with a gritty innings after Ben Stokes winning the toss and electing to bat in Dharamsala. However, despite Crawley's resilient half century, the dismissals of Ben Duckett and Pope hampered England's progress. Crawley himself survived a close call, escaping a court appeal due to India's decision not to review, only to succumb for 79 in the afternoon. Following Crawley's departure, England suffered a dramatic collapse, losing 8 wickets for just 81, tumbling from a promising 137 for 2 to a disappointing 218 all out. We have a whole lot of things to discuss on this and what happened in the first innings of the India first innings of the Indian side. So basically, here we are gonna have analysis on how the day one progressed and what were the key highlights of it and what were the strategies that were put in place by Rohit Sharma. So to start off, I'll like to welcome our esteemed senior cricket analyst and renowned journalist Vedam Jaishankar sir. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So you have watched the entire day's innings and you have seen Kuldeep and Ashwin and to an extent Jadeja as well. The reason I'm taking Jadeja into context is because you have always seen Ashwin Jadeja combination doing the game for us and Kuldeep and Chahal doing the game for us for some time. And this has been whenever you have a spin combination and we make the best use of it. India has always reigned the entire innings or maybe even the test matches also. We have won a lot of them with these combinations. So, your initial comments on what exactly happened today and how did it go well for India?
Yeah, thank you very much. I was really surprised at the way the Indians played today. I was very surprised because you could see they were so relaxed. The entire Indian team, whether batting, bowling, fielding, looked extremely relaxed. It was not like in the other tests when they looked tense, the spectators looked tense, there was a lot of to play for. But here it was actually, if at all, it was England which looked tense and the Indian bowlers and fielders looked so relaxed. And what really caught us off guard was in the morning. What a brilliant spell of fast bowling by Jasprit Bumrah and Siraj. I mean, the way they swung the ball. There was one particular delivery from Jasprit and to Crawley. It was aimed at somewhere towards the leg stump or even outside the leg stump. And Crawley shaped to play to the leg side. That late swing beat his bat, beat his pads, beat the wicket. I mean, it was incredible delivery. And nobody could believe it, including Crawley. So that was a kind of swing bowling we saw early in the morning. But the rub of the green was not with the fast bowlers. They bowled brilliantly, but they were not with the fast bowlers. It was with the spinners, especially like you correctly mentioned, Kuldeep Yadav when he came in, the entire scenario changed, you know.
Yeah.
And Kuldeep Yadav was again, like I said, relaxed. There was nothing in the pitch, really nothing in the pitch. In fact, it showed the way they are. I think they were 100 for one in the going into the last over before lunch, and in that last over they lost
25
another that of Pope, yes,
25
and
over
suddenly
and 26 over, 26 over. So the Crawley went at right at 100 for two. They went for 100 for two when Crawley left. Until 137, I think they were going really strong.
yeah, they were
That's the
100
third
for
wicket.
two, and at the stroke of lunch, it was Pope who got out. He rushed out
Yeah.
to Kuldeep Yadav. And funnily, the stump mics are also picking up Jurel talking, Sarfaraz talking, and telling Kuldeep, in Hindi that this guy is going to run out. He's going to run out. Because it looked like he was so uncomfortable playing spin from the crease, that is Pope. And that was
Yeah.
a beautiful left arm googly that he sold to him. He stepped out a little early, I thought, but the ball was pitched outside the off stump and left him, and Jurel finished a brilliant stumping. So at lunch, that was a psychological blow, really. 100 for one, it could have been. It became 100 for two at the stroke of lunch. Crawley got out later,
Yeah.
but again, like you said, what a brilliant
They,
delivery
they
from
actually
China.
missed an appeal, I think. Like, sorry, sir. Sorry to come in between. Like, they actually missed an appeal there. There was a nick. I think like, they
Yes,
missed that thing. They
yes, you're
missed that
right.
thing.
Actually, actually, only three balls of that over had been bowled when Pope got out. So the other remaining three balls had to be bowled after the luncheon break. And there was a faint edge. There was a faint edge, and he hit the wicketkeeper's gloves. And Sarfaraz at short leg took a brilliant catch, really brilliant, because he threw himself a long way and took the catch in quotes. And the umpire declared it not out, and Sarfraz was keen. He was trying to push Rohit Sharma to take the DRS, but Rohit wouldn't listen to him because Jural said no, no touch. But later we saw in the replays that there was an edge, there was an inner edge,
Yes.
and he
It
was
was very
cutting
slight.
shortly.
You can't even call it a
Yeah,
nick, I think. You can't even call it a nick.
by then the ship had already sailed. But
Yeah.
actually, Crawley played very well, except for a couple of blemishes there. And the way he weathered the storm in the morning, especially against that swing, was incredible. And another thing we saw with Kuldeep Yadav's bowling was he kept varying his pace and his line. And he mixed it up brilliantly, those Chinamen, those Googlies. He never allowed the batsman to settle. And the pace at which he was bowling also, he kept altering it. And he never allowed them to settle. His was really a classical display of left arm Chinaman googly bowling. Absolutely. The wrist spin that he was imparting was lovely. Some of the balls really turned, and it turned on a good wicket.
Yeah.
Some of them turned just enough to beat the bat, but he really
Yeah.
bowled well. And on this wicket, to get 5 wickets on the first day for a wrist spinner is incredible. It is not like the pitch was helping the bowlers, not at all. It was, I think, Kuldeep Yadav's brilliant bowling which saw India. And of course, later Ashwin came to the party himself, picking up 4 wickets on his 100th test. And
Yeah.
England, who were actually comfortable at one stage, 100 for one, then 100 for two, they lost their last 7 wickets for just 43 runs. That was a
Yeah.
big, big collapse.
Yeah. Yeah. True, sir. So what do you think was running in Rohit's head at 100 for one? Reason being, like he brings in a spinner and then he brings in Ashwin also, and they start taking wickets. So what might be running in his head? Because like the seamers were doing good. It wasn't that they were not bowling badly. So
So
what might have
I think what
like
happened
what might be the strategy? If we have to talk about strategy, what's running in Rohit's head and why that particular thing when it starts clicking, he knows how to play around with the bowlers.
No, I think in this case, what happened was India went with just two seamers and three spinners.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right when you said the seamers bowled brilliantly. They really bowled brilliantly, but without luck. So each of them had already bowled, I think, 6 6 or 7 7 overs. So, and on a first day pre-lunch, you can't bowl your fast bowlers to the ground. You need to, mold them and hold them. Yeah, gauge how they handle the thing and also groom them to last the 5 days. So first day itself, he couldn't bowl them into the ground, especially when he had just two seamers. So he had to fall back on spinners. But what happened was the spinners really stepped up. I'm not sure there was any dampness in the pitch, but the spinners really shaped up. And the way Kuldeep Yadav bowled, like I said earlier, I don't think any of the English batsmen were confident of what he was sending down because he was mixing them brilliantly. Both the pace and the spin that he was mixing and the lines were really outstanding. And I think, yes, Rohit was pushed to use the spinners. Maybe if we had a third seamer, we would have seen a third seamer bowling a lot more because they were actually beating the bat with classical swing bowling. But he didn't have a third seamer, so he had to fall back on spinners. But the spinners rose to the challenge brilliantly, especially, like I said, Kuldeep Yadav. And, the rest is history.
Yeah. Talking about spinners, Ashwin last in the last match to five. It's actually like he took it away from Kuldeep last time, and this time Kuldeep took it away from Ashwin. But you could you could actually see that Bonhomie post match. He was actually like giving out the ball. Like Kuldeep actually handed over the ball to Ashwin, and Ashwin gives it back to him. So
Yeah.
when we see a partnership of spinners doing excellently well, so what kind of game plan runs in? Because this is not the first time. This is not the first time that we see spinners as duos doing brilliant job for India. We have seen in the past. We have seen it happen again and again and again. Like it may be Ashwin and Jadeja most of the time, or maybe Kulcha, the Kuldeep Chahal thing, or maybe now both Ashwin and Kuldeep. In fact, Kuldeep and Ashwin have done this miracle many times earlier also. Like I think. So what
Yeah.
kind of talk or strategy gets into these set of players? Like when they start a spell, say for example, a spell of 20 overs, wherein like 10 overs are done by Kuldeep and 10 overs by him. What kind of strategy they involve into when they start off bowling?
Yeah, see, we've always had a trio of spinners, especially when you play at home. Right from
Yeah.
Prasanna, Chandrasekhar, Bedi days, we always had three spinners bowling, especially when we play at home, and that tradition has continued. You know, but what really struck so brilliantly now, more than let's say 30 years or 20 years ago, was the fielding. The fielding standards have really, really risen. You might not have an Eknath
Especially that
Solkar at
catch
forward
that
short leg.
Particle took. That
Sorry?
catch at the boundary line of Ashwin. That was brilliant. In fact, the particle actually like made it work for him.
That was brilliant, taken by Shubman Gill at short mid wicket.
Yeah.
That was an
Yes.
outstanding catch. And
Both the wickets happened in a single over, I think, no, for Ashwin. The one
uh,
was caught behind.
yeah,
Okay,
that was
I may be
different. I was talking
losing
about the
track.
first. I was talking of the first wicket, which of Duckett,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
this Shubman Gill took a brilliant catch running backwards at
yeah,
short cover. That was outstanding catch, and like that we saw, like you mentioned, Padikkal later. Even the catch which was not given, which Sarfaraz took at short leg. I mean, he's not an Eknath Solkar, but the catch he took was absolutely brilliant. And unfortunately for him, uh, his captain didn't believe that it was a catch and didn't go for a DRS. Otherwise, that would have been
yeah,
another brilliant catch of the day. But the difference, like I said, now is you mentioned Padikkal, yes, Padikkal, Shubman Gill. Rohit Sharma took a brilliant catch in slips. So the
yes,
catching was improved a lot. And that is what is putting additional pressure on the batsmen. They know they can't slip up, and we've seen half chances are being grabbed, and that's a great thing for the game. And if England has got all out for 218, they have themselves to blame because
yeah,
it was a good pitch, and it was proved later the way Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma batted that it was a very good pitch, and England should have dug in deeper, found a way to get to about 300, 350 runs rather than being shot out 43 runs. They lost 7 wickets, which is I think a shame.
yeah. Certainly, certainly. Based on the standards they talk about and the kind of lineup they have, they should have actually like slowed down after the fourth or the fifth wicket, but they went on and wickets started tumbling down after that. 81 in 81 runs, they lost the last how many like 8 wickets? Yeah, 8 wickets. 8 wickets in 81 runs. After
81 runs, yeah.
yeah,
I said
there was a
7 wickets in
yeah
50 runs.
yeah
Yeah, I
that
mean
40
that
run
part.
count. I'm leaving because it's a test cricket. 40 run count won't actually help them even in the second innings. Uh, yeah,
I
going
have a
forward.
feeling the
So
I have a feeling the fight has gone out of England, and
oh
I
yeah,
think they were in the game till the last test. But today, what we saw, even with their bowling, and somebody like Jaiswal was playing so freely, he hung on in the middle
yeah,
for some time at the start of the innings. But afterwards, the way he started opening out and playing, I don't think England had an excuse at all. And a couple of landmarks really we haven't touched upon yet. I would like to say that,
We'll
Ashwin, for
actually
his
get back
100.
to that. We'll be talking about the landmarks. We'll be talking about the debut. We'll be talking about the 100th test for both Ashwin and what name I yeah, from England. Yeah. So and also talk about other records. In the meanwhile, we also had, for the viewers I'm talking about, like, we actually had a discussion on Jaiswal the other day. We were talking about how Jaiswal is a guy who has to be looked in the future. Like if we look at Jaiswal as a player, as a guy who destroyed baseball. So if you want to watch that video for the viewers, we have that, and there will be a link in the description. You can actually go and watch that video. Vedam Jaishankar gives an amazing analysis of how it started and how he could destroy that and how he can actually read batting in the future. Okay, sir. Coming back to the discussion. As the day progressed, we actually saw the innings of Jaiswal again, and he reached another feat. I say, like, 1,000 test runs,
Yeah,
and
he's the
apart
second
from
quickest.
yeah,
He's the second quickest Indian to 1,000 runs. Virat Kohli, I think, did it in about 14 innings. And I beg your pardon, Kambli, sorry. Vinod Kambli did it in
yeah,
14 innings. And he's done it in 16 innings. So, I mean, that's a huge, huge, huge achievement. And
see, for the young
he's
kid,
also
it's only the 10th innings. I think he's like 10th match. I think he's playing 10th test. Jaiswal is playing right now.
16th innings, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
but even otherwise, 700 runs in a series. I mean, he's only the second person to do it. Sunil Gavaskar did it, maybe twice he did it. But
yes,
those days, you have this five test series and six test series and things like that. In between, we were only playing three test and four test series. After a long time,
yeah,
we are playing a five test series. And Jaiswal has really grabbed it. Look at it this way. He's got two double hundreds. And besides those
yeah,
two double hundreds, but three huge 50s. So
yes.
I think he's already India's best batsman. There's no doubt about it. In this
Do you think he's
present team,
gonna
he's already.
surpass? Do you think he's gonna surpass Gavaskar's 774 in a series? Right now he's at 712. That's around 62 runs away from this thing. In the second innings, we should actually be very curious, like, whether Jaiswal gets that feat.
We should have. If I think India gets about 400 runs, even I
Yeah.
don't think this match is going to go so long that Jaiswal will get that big score. I really feel that
So we'll
because,
have to wait
like I
for him
said,
to
the side.
work on it again. A poor chap, he has to work for an entire series again to actually, like, get past that 774
Yeah, but
runs.
I think the new agreement that these teams have come up with is India, Australia, and England. Whenever they play each other, they'll play five test series.
Yeah.
They'll play three test series against the others, but when these three are involved, it'll be five test series. So that's a good thing. The three top teams are playing each other over five tests, and that's a good thing. But coming back to that, when we look at somebody like Tendulkar or Rahul Dravid, they played a lot of three and four test series. Yes, I think two or three five
Yeah.
test series they played in their entire career. You know, Otherwise it
Yeah.
was just three and four tests, sometimes even two tests. I don't know why they had to play two tests, but it's been like that. So we're getting back to five test series against England and Australia. Then you're also playing against quality attacks, quality opposition, quality attacks, and that should count for a lot. Sunil Gavaskar's one of his 700 plus runs was against a very very weak team. I think that was when Kerry Packer had ravaged those Australian and West Indies teams. One of his 700 plus runs was in that series when I think the bowling was not worth the salt. But otherwise, I think what Jaiswal has done in this series is tremendous. England has been a good bowling attack. They've got some outstanding fast bowlers and spinners, but he has dominated. He has really dominated and he has played brilliantly. So I think that Jaiswal's 700 in this series and the second quickest to 1,000 runs are definitely something to cherish.
Okay. So yesterday, during the press conference, Rohit Sharma actually even talked about the pitch. He said he was unsure if Dharamsala pitch will require three seamers or two. What do you make of it after the first day's play?
Yeah, I see. It's very difficult to gauge this pitch because I think the outfield was very poor during the World Cup. In fact, I think it got some negative markings during the World Cup. The outfield was very poor, and because of the frost and because of the rain, because of the cold, there could be some effect. But what we saw, there's no grass on the pitch. But there are no cracks either, like we saw in the previous test. There are no cracks either on the pitch. Pitch is behaving well. It looks a little dry, but we don't know. At least I don't know how much sunshine is there in Dharamshala to really, make it crack and open up. I don't think there's too much of sunshine because every time we were watching the television, we
No,
not
it
just the
was actually
spectators.
like the weather report said it would rain. There was a possibility of a rain also. In the weather
Yeah,
report,
rain was.
it was raining.
Yeah, but I think Dharamshala also has included a sub-air system in their ground. Sub-air system, KSCA in Karnataka was the first to use it, but I think Dharamshala also has now introduced it. So they are able to even, I don't know if they've got that facility to pump oxygen to drive directly to the grassroots. If they are utilizing it, then it speaks a lot because today's ground, actually the ground looked very good compared to what they had during the World
Hmm.
Cup. This ground looked really good.
Yeah.
The pitch, of course, there may be rains, but it's all well covered. So there is no problem about the pitch at all. It still looked a bit dry, but so far it has held up very well. Like I said, England have no excuse for 218. They just had to look at the way India batted 135 for the loss of one wicket in 30 overs. I mean, that should tell them everything. It's a good pitch and good for batting.
Yeah, and talking about the debuts, like there's one debut that happened today, Devdutt Padikkal. Do you think it was a good coming for him?
No, it's very good because I think at the one stage, Devdutt Padikkal, we expected him to break into the national team a little earlier. But the boy was very unfortunate. He missed one entire season of first class cricket. He fell sick and he was losing weight. It took a long time for him to get back into action. Of course, he's still very young. I think he's about 22 or 23 now. But we expected him to break in at least 1.5 years earlier. But for that sickness, I think he would have broken into the team much earlier. He's a lovely left-hand batsman. He's very capable, and I think the spinners will have a tough time bowling to him, especially the left-arm spinners. He can go at the spinners. He usually opens a batting, but he's now comfortable even batting at number three or number four. He's got the reach, he's got the temperament, he's got the strokes. It's just a question of how much of his strength he's got back because there was never any doubt about his ability. He did very well against
Yeah.
England A. He did very well again this season for Karnataka. He's coming back actually. He's coming back into cricket, but he's done enough before his sickness or illness, and after that also he's done enough to prove that he's a guy with a lot of talent and somebody to look forward to.
What about James Anderson? He's at the cusp of another two wickets, and he'll be reaching the 700th wicket, test wickets, and that too in 15 test matches. If we have to talk about him, like what do you see the prospects in this particular test? Is he gonna reach that feat?
He's a legend. I mean, he's really a legend. The way he has come
Yeah,
back again and at his age, the way he's throwing himself on the field, and you still can't take liberties. Jaiswal could have hit him for three sixes in 1 over in the previous test, but you still can't take
yeah,
liberties against James Anderson. And with the new ball or old ball, especially when the ball is reversing, he's still one of the top class bowlers in the world. So I mean, it's a question of two balls. Two wickets is a question of two
yeah,
balls. You don't know whose number is there on those two balls.
yeah. Yeah. And one more thing which we haven't discussed, and I think this is suitable for this time to go actually talk about. Like it's about Ashwin. Ashwin is closing by to break Anil Kumble's record, and will go forward to even reach Muthaiya Muralidharan. He's the closest who can actually do that. So, what do you think? Like, what are the prospects of him actually doing that? Because he's already 34, 35. So, where do you think whether he can be
No, he's
that guy?
yeah. If he plays as long as James Anderson, maybe he can. He's about 37 now. James Anderson is
Yeah,
what 41, 42. So if he
42,
plays as
42
long
years.
as that, yes, it's possible. But otherwise, I think even Anil Kumble's record will be safe because I mean I'm not very good at maths at this point of time, nor have I looked at the
Yeah,
statistics. But I think Ashwin has about 511 or 512 wickets, and
yeah, close to
I
that.
think
Yes.
he needs more wickets to get past Kumble. And that, if you say maybe it's 20 tests, does he have for 20 tests? I don't know if he's got 20 tests because 20 tests in these days actually means about maybe 2 or even 3 years. I don't think he's got 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
cricket left in him. Like I said, unless like James Anderson, he
But
continues
sir,
playing. But Anderson is
sir,
very
when you look at pacers, sorry to interrupt you. When you look at pacers and spinners have better age. Like they can play for a longer time. Is what most of them actually believe in. Like when it comes to pacers, they actually. But when it comes to James Anderson and it actually doesn't. That rule doesn't apply. I think I'm being very foolish in asking you this question. But don't you think he might play more years? Can Ashwin play more years?
I would like to play that he will play for 4 years and he would. But when you look at it seriously, with his injuries, and he's not the fittest cricketer around. We got to admit that he's not the fittest cricketer around. But despite his whatever handicaps, he's still done exceedingly well. He's another legend. But for him to play 4 years, 20 tests, I have my doubts. I'd be very happy if he does it. But if you see, also another thing you understand that there are a lot of good spinners also pressing through. Kuldeep Yadav is very young,
Yeah.
so he is pressing through. He's already seen as one of the top spinners that we have. So I wouldn't. I
And a
don't know
luxury
whether
also, and a
Ashwin.
luxury because he's a Chinaman bowler. Chinaman bowlers are very rare.
Yeah, but they are the attacking sort of bowlers. People who will get you wickets. Not at all. I'm not even comparing him
Yeah.
with Ashwin. They are different as cheese from chalk, and Ashwin has his own way of getting wickets, and he's a brilliant bowler. He wears down the batsman. He knows what to do. He gets into the mind of the batsman. He's a different class of bowler, Ashwin, and it shows. You can't get 500 wickets just like that. So he has been an outstanding cricketer. He has served Indian cricket brilliantly, and I think we should cherish him for as long as he plays. Like you said, maybe he'll play 4 more years, and we'll all be very happy. But even if he doesn't play 4 more years, let's celebrate and
Yeah.
enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah. Yesterday when Ashwin was actually at the press conference, he was talking about it. He said more than me, my mother, father, my sister, sorry, my wife, my kid are the ones who will be actually like delighted with my 100 tests because they have sacrificed more. So thank you very much, sir. One major thing, like what are we gonna look into this test going into the second day tomorrow with Rohit and Particle at stumps. Rohit has already hit a half century, and Particle is started his first test. It's a second day. So what do you think is gonna be like? What to look out for in this entire test?
No, I think India will be hoping to get about 300, 350 runs tomorrow. England, of course, will go a bit defensive. But if we get 300 runs and India scores 300, 350 runs tomorrow, then I think the match may not even go into the fourth day. Because right now, Rohit is batting
I'm
very
sorry,
well.
I actually made a mistake. It's Shubman Gill right now at this crease. Shubman Gill and Rohit
Yeah.
Sharma.
So I
Will
was,
Particle get a play is the thing which I will be watching for. The reason is like I have been talking about Particle and it just slipped into my mind and I instead of saying Shubman Gill I said Particle. So sorry for that. Yeah, sorry sir. Sorry to interrupt again. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please.
yeah, I think if we can get about 300, 350 runs tomorrow, then I think we'll be on velvet. because in the last session itself, in 30 overs, we got 135 runs and lost just one wicket in 30 overs. So you have the whole of tomorrow, and if you can get accumulate 100 runs in each session, you should get about 300, 350 runs. India have the batting. There's no doubt about it. India have the batting to really push England in this current series and in home conditions. It's just a question of how they do it. The team looks very relaxed. So I won't be too surprised if they really go for it. The team looks very relaxed, and you still have big hitters like Jurel, Jadeja, Padikkal, though it may be his debut as a very capable batsman, and of course Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma are still there at the crease. So all in all, I think India have plenty to look forward to. And let's not forget that Sarfraz also is a wonderful player of spin bowling. So there is a lot of batting still to come. If we, like I said, if we get about 350 runs tomorrow, then I think India will be on velvet. And a 4-1 result is not a dream. It may be a reality.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining in this discussion. We'll have you more in the coming days. And also, we hope we'll be covering IPL very clearly. And we'll have Vedam sir coming in with his insights every now and then and helping you out understand the game in a better sense. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.
Thank you.